Joy is a wonderful feeling, and it's a feeling that happens and in many different moments. So it's a feeling that happens whenever we feel a sense of freedom, when we feel a sense of attainment. So, and just a feeling of that general peace within the self. That is what I would say defines joy. So, looking at joy, what makes us joyful? What makes us happy, really? And when I think about it, is when people have peace and love in their life, they feel they've accomplished everything. So, and when they accomplish that, they feel they're happy. Of course, as happiness is nothing but a natural feeling, when there is peace and loving relationships in our lives, that automatically is also a natural feeling. But this feeling comes from something that is within us, that's already there. And that's why we recognize it and we are able to experience it. So, how can we have deeper joy? How can we bring about that, deep happiness? Well, just because there's joy in the world, of course, if someone is happy, naturally you'll be happy if you're in front of them. And when they're joyful and delighted, you will sort of sense that they are joyful and delighting, and you get that feeling and you want to have that feeling. Well, if you think about it, joy that we experience today is derived from external forces, something that gives you sensual type of pleasures, such as what we see from our eyes. If something looks beautiful, then of course we're going to feel the sense of joy when we see a flower or we smell the fragrance of a beautiful rose. We will experience the joy that the plant is offering us. When we taste good food, it can even also promote joyful feeling within. And also when we touch maybe like a velvety, surface or something that is generously comforting, then again, we feel that joyfulness. But this is all nowadays what we see, all something that's derived from the outside, When I'm saying the outside, I'm talking about whatever we can experience through this body that we have. All this sensory happiness that we have, just like our body, is limited. It's temporary because, of course, one day there will be a time where we will have to leave this body. So we need to go a little bit deeper and think about, well, what is charging this body? Who are we? And that is, what are we? So I am that point, that divine light that charges up this body to enable it to actually work. And when I consider that, then what am I made up of? And we start thinking, okay, so what am I made up of? Of course, we are made up of the beautiful divine qualities, the divine virtues that we've been talking about each week, each time. We experience this every moment and any moment in our lives. I'm talking about that joy, that peace, that love, all of this, the truth, all of this we experience not only with this body, but we experience within the soul, because the soul actually is the one that recognizes it. If you watch a joyful movie, of course you'll feel joy. And then, of course, while you're watching, you eat delicious, maybe dessert with it. It's again joyful. But how long does that joy last? If you think about it, how long does it last? Just till we finish that meal, that dessert, and then after that, maybe a few little bit of feeling left around the tongue and a little bit sense in the mind. But it's not going to last too long, but it's definitely triggered something within the mind to experience and to know that this is joyful for me. So we experience joy, both mentally as well and emotionally. Knowing about relationships, looking at creativity, understanding my success, boosting my own self-worth, who I am, makes me feel happy. This is all working on a mental, more emotional level. And such happiness is, of course, conditional when we look again outside and is temporary and limited. But we have triggered something within. And how long do we hold the moment that is within the mind? How long do we hold it? This is something that brings joy. Happiness and joy are similar, but what's the difference between happiness and joy is that joy, you can hold that moment in the mind longer. It has a more deeper sense. Human beings have lost the experience of true lasting joy. That is a state of being or experience that transcends the need to engage or indulge in anything that physically makes them feel good. So we're not dependent on the situation to be joyful. Neither are we people who are dependent on other people's behavior. So if someone is, not as joyful, they're angry, for example, then am I going to imbibe that anger and trigger the anger within me? Or have I got that much sense to step back a bit and remember the joy that I am? And when we take that moment and step back, we realize who we really, really are. And I heard someone say something this week, how it's so important to take that step back. And the easiest way to step back is by considering ourselves to be a guest on this earth. I am a guest within this body. This body I'm using temporarily, and I will use it to fulfill whatever I need to fulfill, but it is not me. And when I know that, that means I'm not sort of stuck within it, and I'm not limited in any sense. But it also means that any negativity is just there, temporary, and I have the ability to move away from it. And that's when we keep that detachment, that's what we call detachment, then automatically then we connect with our inner values and virtues. And so we're able to remain loveful and peaceful, and in other words, joyful most of the time. So we shouldn't be dependent on situations, on people's behaviors towards us. When we are away from that, then we get to an even more higher level, which bring us up to supersensuous joy. And another word for supersensuous joy is bliss. So what is that bliss? Bliss is the state of being of all human souls. It's a natural state. It's a state of completeness, fullness, in which you are so full of attainment within that we can radiate that contentment and joyfulness naturally. So happiness is experienced when the soul comes from a state of being in a state of doing, and there is the exchange of the energy in the form of thoughts and actions. So it's more sort of lower. But bliss and joy are very subtle, and it's a pure state of being, which does not require us to engage with the senses or even with any sort of emotional thoughts. It's experienced through the awareness of the true self. Who am I? And when we truly experience who we are, when we experience our innate goodness, our divinity, our magnificence, and our eternal belongingness with the divine, then automatically that harmony will be within ourselves and with the rest of the human souls in the world. And that's what we call being truly joyful. So practice maybe this thought in the week that I am a joyful soul. Whatever I do it with joy. It has become my natural state of living. My every karma action reflects my inner happiness, happiness from within. So, with that, let's do a meditation on joy. As I sit in my seat of being a point of light, I, this point, this pure consciousness, the consciousness of the soul, I let go of the awareness of my body. And I become aware of my true being, the real me. I feel my light. And I start to feel light. And any heaviness which was held by me dissolves. It can no longer hold me back. And as I do this, being the light that I am, I begin to float up. And I fly high. And in this freedom, I experience a sense of attainment. I see my light form, my true self. This beautiful bright energy. And I see my qualities. This re-energizes me. My virtues. These are my treasures. These treasures I have with me at all times. The sense of freedom and attainment fills me with so much joy. Such a deep sense of joy. I realize I do not need anything physical to make me happy. Nor do I need approval or acknowledgement of any sort. All I need is to be who I am. And this will fill me up with the joy that I am. That is, to be free of expectations, free of judgment, now I find myself floating higher and heading upwards towards a land of golden red light. And as I enter this mystical land, I see many tiny golden lights like me. But beyond that, I see one light that shines brighter than all. I get closer to this bright, beautiful light. And as I do so, I feel the warmth of love. I feel peace encompass me. I recognize the Supreme Light, God, and I feel His powers. They are mine. I feel His qualities. They are mine too. And I feel myself getting filled with such an elevated state of bliss. I stay for a moment in this bliss. This pure love, pure joy encompasses my being. And having filled myself with so much, I am still light. And I gently float back to my body. And I feel joyful.